Hi, I'm Laura, and this is tropetrinitytrilogy. Today, I'll be doing the AuthorTube Newbie Tag. Now, dear viewer, you might be wondering one of two things. What is AuthorTube, or why did YouTube recommend me this video? Now, the second one's probably the more important of the two, but I'm not going to answer that. Now, AuthorTube is a Facebook page for writers on YouTube. Shocker, I know. It's a place for new authors and new writers to gather, to share information in a community, plot world domination, and all that fun stuff. But don't be fooled, you don't actually have to make writing videos to be on AuthorTube. So if you want to brave the rigorous initiation process full of hazing and mental manipulation, then I'll link the Facebook page down below. Now this tag is for newbies on AuthorTube, which I am not. In fact, I joined months ago, but I have not posted a single video on AuthorTube due to my lack of writing related videos. Well, I guess I have NaNoWriMo videos, but I didn't post them on there. Today, that ends because I am making my first video for AuthorTube that I will actually post on the page, starting with the AuthorTube Newbie Tag, created by Jenna the Dark One, whose video I will also link down below. Question 1. How did you find out about AuthorTube? I was watching a live stream on a writing channel about writers talking about writing, and they talked about AuthorTube, and that's how I found out about it. Mind-blowing story, I know. Number 2. What genres do you write in? So there are two different categories for genre. There's content-based category, and then there's setting-based category. So content is if it's romance, action, adventure, mystery, that sort of thing. And to be honest, most of mine are pretty heavy action adventure, maybe a romantic subplot and a mystery aspect, but for that one I'm pretty consistent. But then for setting-based genre, I am all over the place. I have a story that's fantasy, sci-fi, dystopian, superheroes, steampunk, historical fiction. I write anything and everything when it comes to that. And the reason for that is when it comes to like action, adventure, I like that in pretty much every story. But when it comes to setting, if my settings for stories are too similar, then I kind of feel like I'm being repetitive, and I like to mix it up a bit. Which is why I like to do drastically different settings for each story, which usually result in them being different genres. Number 3, what is your favorite writing tense, point of view, or category story? So I'll start with category, that's age group. I like YA. The reason I pick YA is because I can do just as much dark content as I would for an adult book and more experience with YA. But then when it comes to writing tense and point of view, I don't like picking a favorite because I always think it's important to pick the one that best suits your story. So if you decide, I always like first person, and then you have a story that takes place over a giant kingdom with different people going all around, maybe third person would be the best. I try not to pick a favorite point of view or tense, but generally I do have two combinations of point of view and tense that I prefer, which is when I write third person, I prefer past tense for obvious reasons. Past tense sounds more natural in third person, at least in my opinion. But then in first person, I prefer present tense because this is mostly when I'm writing, not necessarily reading. But when I'm writing and if it's in first person past tense, I feel like that kind of implies that the main character survives. I don't want my readers to assume that they live. My stories are definitely life and death stakes. So I prefer present tense so you don't really know if they make it. And I also have one story that's first person past tense omnipresent, but that's weird and we're not going to talk about first person omnipresent right now. Okay. Number 4, are you a plotter, a pantser, or a planter? So I would personally say I'm a planter, and though I have a whole video about my outline, a giant bulletin board, and then I have all of this just for plotting my story, and I also have notes plotting on my laptop. When I am writing, I will still change the plot to fit my story if I have new ideas. Even though I will change when I plot it out, I still do a rigorous plotting process. And even then, when I change it, I will always update my outline to fit my changes. The reason I wouldn't say straight plotter is because I've seen people who've literally written out their dialogue word for word in their plot. Whereas I just write on a note card, they go to a meeting, they argue, Sonia gets upset. Now, I know who's in the meeting, but what they argue about, I don't know. I will find out when I write it, and usually it's pretty easy for me to figure out, but my outlines are actually done scene by scene, but what happens in the scenes are usually not that detailed. I just kind of know the general thing, what happens, but not the specifics, especially if it's not an action scene. If it's dialogue heavy, I don't know. If it's fighting, I usually know because I love violence. I'm a terrible person. Number 5, are you self-published, traditionally published, or yet to be published? I am yet to be published, and that's all you need to know for now. Number 6, what writing company, literary agent, or printing company are you represented by? None. Or if not, which one would you want to be represented by? I don't know. Number 7, what type of writing related videos can we expect to find on your channel? Other than my NaNoWriMo ones, which are currently already on my channel, you can expect to find writing advice, trope analysis, and some about my personal writing and stories. Number 8, when did you start writing? So I started writing in elementary school. However, I did not write a complete novel. Like I know some people on AuthorTube are like, yeah, in 5th grade I finished an entire novel. I was like, no, I would write like short stories or first chapters of stories that I did not finish. Generally, I never actually thought I could finish a novel until, well, I tried to write some like throughout high school, but I never really was like, I'm gonna do this until freshman year of high school when I discovered writing advice videos. But when watching writing advice videos, I was like, you know, I actually should do this and can do this. So dug in my heels and I am writing my book. Number 9, what is the first story you ever wrote? So I don't remember, but the first story I remember writing was about this kid named Bob and his best friend, who is this blonde girl. I don't remember her name, but she was pretty smart. And he had to take the MSAs, which is like the middle school version of the SAT. So he wasn't very smart. He didn't want to study for it because he was lazy. So he was like, hey, blonde friend, let's break into the MSA headquarters and steal the test answers. So they broke in. He paid her, of course, because she didn't need the test answers. He got the test answers, came home, memorized all the answers, then came to school and the teacher was like, hey, apparently someone stole the MSA test answers, so we changed all of them and giving you a new test. A lot more efficient than actual school systems, but we'll ignore that. It was probably good that he failed at the end and they ended up changing them, because if he didn't, my teacher probably would have thought I was a dirty cheater and I would have gotten in trouble for writing a story advocating cheating. Number 10, what authors have inspired you the most? So I wouldn't really say I'm inspired by one specific author, but I will say that Aaron Hunter, who is 3 separate authors under one pseudonym, who wrote the Warrior series and got me really into reading and stories and storytelling. And Jenna Maressi, who makes writing YouTube videos, got me really like thinking I could write and really thinking about the craft and how I write. And then, of course, my older sister, who also wrote stories, and I was just like, hey, you write stories, I can write stories too. This is fun. Because I always like to read her stories when she wasn't looking, that she saved on the computer. And I thought it was so cool. So I was like, oh my gosh, I want to write a story too. Number 11. Do you schedule your writing sessions or simply write when you have time? I write whenever I have time. I do try to give myself deadlines of write a chapter a week, but I do not fix specific days. However, I will say that I usually tend to write when I'm supposed to be doing homework. Quality. Number 12. You type on a computer, by hand, or typewriter, and where in general do you write? I write at my desk, real exciting, and I generally use a computer for the actual story, but for the planning and outlining phase, I use notebooks or note cards and do it by hand, because generally computer is more convenient for writing. I can cut stuff, put it in separate documents, save it for later, and it's simple, it's not messy, it's convenient. But then when it comes to plotting, I like to have it by hand, especially with the note cards, so I can arrange it around. And then notebooks, it's a lot easier to copy down because I hate retyping them on a computer. It's a lot nicer to rewrite it in a notebook. And also for character planning, also do it in a notebook because it's a lot less tedious, in my opinion, to write down my character's information, and it's easier to flip to a page than it is to have to scroll up and down the computer every 5 seconds. I can bookmark different pages that I want to flip back to with different characters and just flip back and forth. Whereas the computer, I'd have to scroll down, scroll back up, scroll down. It gets very annoying. I guess I could use the find feature and type their name in, but we'll ignore that. And last but not least, number 13. What are you most looking forward to now that you're on AuthorTube? Obviously, I'm most excited about world domination, but other than that, I'm looking forward to being part of the writing community and getting to see other people's opinions and give out my own opinion. I'm also excited to have you listen to my writing advice, because obviously, since you're still here, You watch it, right? No, not really? Okay, I see how it is. So I am excited to get my opinions and theories about writing out there, because I always think when writing I like to get the maximum amount of opinions and then bring in my own opinion from previously and dissect them and think about them so that I can better think about the craft and come up with my own opinion. I just think it's important when you want to do something as best you can to get the maximum amount of information and get every single point of view, and then put them all together and then look at what you think is right, what you think is wrong, or what works for you and doesn't work for you, so you can be more aware. And I think it's great to get opinions out there. So I'm hoping that someone finds my videos helpful, and I'm also excited to see other people's videos. That is the end. So I tagged the Book Druggie and Malia Marie, who, yes, I asked both of them if they wanted me to tag them in it, because I am socially awkward and do not tag people unless they tell me they would like to be tagged, because I don't want to tag someone who's like, I don't want to do this, and then doesn't do it, because I'm just like, I failed. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, please don't leave another finger up. And thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Later!